Carmen Jorda, two words that may make any F1 fan from the mid-2010s violently ill. Despite being nothing more than a marketing bimbo masquerading as a racing driver, she nearly made it to the pinnacle of motorsports. After having a frankly dreadful junior racing career where she achieved nothing of note in any documented series, she then became a development driver for Lotus F1, a decision that was met with universal backlash, being labeled as more of a PR stunt than anything else by fans, journalists, and even Michelle Mouton, the head of the FIA's Women in Motorsports Commission, who called the choice a marketing gimmick. Take it as a blessing that she never drove in GP2 or even the W Series, because chances are, she would have been dangerously slow. You may think I'm being a bit harsh, but to go over all of what this woman has done and said over the years would feed us into a rabbit hole that I'm honestly not brave enough to dive into at the moment. So instead of focusing on the off-track controversies and criticism, let's focus on what happened on track. Let's focus on understandably forgotten part from that junior racing career I mentioned earlier. Let's focus on Carmen Jorda's Indy Lights career. Although her results were mediocre at best and terrible at their worst in her previous 5 years in racing, her Scrooge McDuck-esque funds made her a bit of a commodity in racing. After testing an Indy Lights car with Walker Racing at Sebring on January 19, 2010, she had her sights on the series. However, she wouldn't sign for the team. Instead, after completing another test for Anderson Racing at Barber Motorsports Park, it was later revealed that Carmen Jorda would drive for the team full-time for the 2010 Indy Lights season in the number 4 car. However, as it turns out, things would be a lot less straightforward, but we'll get to that in a little bit. For now though, let's get to the first race of the Indy Lights season, the 2010 Honda Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Considering the lack of street course experience she had entering the weekend, and her general lack of pace in basically anything at this point, expectations were lower than my self-esteem in 8th grade. But to the shock of some at the time, me making this video, and maybe you watching, she didn't do too awful. However, it was still a frankly piss-poor debut. She would qualify 15th, second to last, only beating Rodrigo Barboza, whose Wikipedia page hails not qualifying last as a fantastic achievement. So although Carmen wouldn't start last, she would finish last of the cars to actually take the checkered flag. What's more depressing though was that she was lapped by her winner J.K. Vernet twice in 35 laps. Coming to Barber Motorsports Park, expectations should have been a little higher than St. Pete. Racing on natural terrain road course, a circuit type that made up most of her racing experience at this point, and returning to the same track with the same team that she had tested with about a month ago. However, it was once again a poor race, with her starting second to last again and spinning on lap 2, bringing out the full course yellow and being classified in last. Long Beach would be her best Indy Lights race. She would finally start off the back row of the grid, albeit just barely as she started 16th of 18 starters. In a frankly chaotic race, where 3 full course yellows came in just the last 15 laps, Carmen Jorda would get her first and only top 10 in Indy Lights. It looked like she was finally getting a grip on things in the series. Sure, she was still towards the back of the field, but she was showing improvement. However, as I said towards the beginning, things weren't straightforward. After Long Beach, she wouldn't race for the team for the next 3 races. Now, the reasons why were never really revealed, but after doing some sleuthing online, I found something strange. It's a blog from Carmen Jorda herself, documenting her season in Indy Lights. The first entry to this blog came just before her return to Indy Lights in Toronto, where the only explanation for her sudden leave of absence was due to, quote, internal team problems. As I said before, she returned for the 2 races in Toronto and Edmonton. However, both of these races saw last place starts and DNFs. Carmen hasn't raced in open wheel cars since her 2014 season in GP3, and her last season in racing period came in the 2016 Renault Sport Trophy Series. Despite being an F1 test and reserve driver at the time, Jorda ran in the amateur division where she scored no wins, no poles, no podiums, no fastest lap, and finished 8th in the points. She nearly raced in the inaugural season of the W Series back in 2019. However, that didn't happen, and her driving career seems to be dead at the scene as of me making this video in late August of 2022. Carmen Jorda has been a punching bag in the motorsports scene for many years now, and I can't say that's entirely unjustified. She was slow in basically every series she raced in, and her time in Indy Lights is no exception to this. I would really hate to end this video on such a negative note, so really quick, I just want to shine the spotlight on a great female driver that might be racing in Indy Lights soon. Jamie Chadwick, who's a 2-time W Series champion, is soon to test an Indy Lights car with Andretti Autosport. She's a really fast driver, and I hope she makes her debut in the series, because if F1 isn't going to take advantage of the talent that she clearly is, IndyCar should bite at her. Anyways, that was the story of Carmen Jorda's Indy Lights career. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about her career in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a great afternoon.